Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. Yeah, and I do appreciate, there's been quite a bit of effort here from people liking and subscribing and recommending this channel. So I want to thank you all very much for that and joining me here today for a little talk. I'm going to talk about D-Wing at the Scrubs a while ago now, but they had people on there like Tony Lambriano, yeah. He was one of the hitmen for the Cray twins. He was a really nice guy, very Italian type, and he was a very good cook, believe it or not. He used to be big mates with Gordon Goody. Gordon Goody was one of the real train robbers. Ronnie Briggs, he was just a driver, He wasn't any of the brains behind it. All he did was drive a truck, I believe. But Gordon Goody was one of the brains behind it, organised it. And as I say, he was big mates with Tony Lambriano on D-Wing at the Scrubs, and they had a little cooking unit. That was in the days before they started throwing boiling oil and water over officers. Because on D-Wing at the Scrubs, it was quite a relaxed atmosphere, actually. A little bit too relaxed, I thought. There was one day, I've told this story before, and I went to search a cell and the guy wouldn't cooperate. So, I was used to operating in the rough wing on C wing, so I just snatched him. Said, I'm not asking about searching your cell, I'm telling you, come with me. He was an Irish guy. I didn't know who the hell he was. I just had a name, So I snatched him, arm up the back, and frog marched him to his cell, got him outside the cell, and I was surrounded by prison officers, regulars on D-Wing. So what do you think you're doing? I said, we're going to search his cell. Get off him. I said, I've got orders from the security principal officer to search this man's cell, and he says he's not cooperating, so I'm going to help him to change his mind. If you don't get off him, we'll get hold of you. So four of these bloody great big jailers from D-Wing coming at me, I thought, probably better to let go, So I said, well, he has to have his cell searched. No, he doesn't. Get off the wing. So they threw me off D-Wing, yeah? About 3 days later, there was a big disturbance at D-Wing at the Scrubs. It was on all the news. I was watching news at 10 at home, and it said there's been a riot at Wormwood Scrubs. The IRA are on the roof, and one of them was this guy, and he got donned up like a member of some Republican army with a tricolour flag and fake berries on the heads and all that bollocks. And obviously, if I'd have searched his cell on that particular day, we would have likely found all this stuff. I wonder if the staff knew it was going to happen. I wonder. But anyway, I reported that to the principal officer of security PO. And he said, oh, well, just never mind that. He said, go and search some other cells. You go to A-Wing, And seriously. What kind of a security officer was that? Anyway, they did an investigation into how the riot happened at Strangeways, at Wormwood Scrubs. They did a report. They never asked me. I would have told them. They knew it was going to happen because they prevented me from searching the man's cell. But D-Wing at the Scrubs was very laid back. I was on there one night doing a late shift. And this prisoner said to me, hey, boss, he said, come here. He said, have a look at this. So he was on the fours, on D4 landing. So I shot the bolt on his cell, to make sure I didn't get locked in. I didn't fear for my own safety at all. I went in and he got a chair up against the back wall so you could stand on the chair and look through the window. He said, have a look through that window. Top row of flats. He said the lights are on, about 4 in from the right. So I looked and it was virtually directly ahead, I could see that. And there was this blonde lady, you could see quite clearly. I had good eyesight in them days. Not like today. I can see, you know, but not as good as I could. Anyway, I got on the chair and I had a look through. Yeah, right, 4 in from the right, straight ahead. Looked in. There's this blonde lady ironing, except that she didn't have anything on at all. Completely bollock naked. I mean, obviously driving the inmates crazy, you know. I said, how often does this happen? He said, oh, it's every night. If it's not her, he said, it's the one about 2 further down. He said, they get a display most nights. Imagine that. Yeah, D-Wing at Wormwood Scrubs. There were a number of characters on there. Most of them were serving life, you know, or extremely long sentences. Gordon Goody was obviously doing his 30 years that he got for the great train robbery. And the guy who went on to play Dirty Den in EastEnders, he was on there. Leslie Grantham, yeah, he was on there. He was a bit of a gobby character, but a good actor because they put a play on. D-Wing put a play on. They had like drama classes. They put a play on. I think it was Entertaining Mr. Sloan. Yeah, that was the name of the play. I went to see it, actually. I was on duty that night, but they had a load of civilians come in to watch it. And it was really well presented. Entertaining Mr. Sloan by Joe Orton. Do you know that Joe Orton, the playwright, he was imprisoned for the most stupid thing? He'd been borrowing library books and putting pictures in there of naked women, and he borrowed the collected works of John Betjeman and replaced the front cover with some pornographic image. And when he handed these books back in, he eventually got arrested for that and sentenced. I think he got about 3 months. But he had a sense of humour, did Joe Orton. Have you ever seen Entertaining Mr. Sloan? Yeah. Anyway, I used to do the same thing, but I didn't use public libraries. I used to borrow books, get books from the market stalls. You know, buy 3, get 1 free, and then when you took them back, then you got allowed 1 book free, you know. So I did that. I used to do that about once a fortnight. I would read books all the time. Edgar Allan Poe and all these tales of mystery and imagination and stuff like that. And I used to write things in the back because I used to go to my friend's house and his mother always used to give us curried beans. Curried beans, yeah. This would be about 1965. 64 even, yeah. It was a long time ago. And I used to write things in the back. Help, I'm being kept prisoner at number 19 Bold Street, Lee. All I am being fed on is curried beans. Help. I used to hand these books. I mean, if people are reading the books, they come to the end and think this is a message of help. Yeah, it kind of amused me, so I must have had the same kind of twisted sense of humour. There must have been something in the air, you know. So anyway, D-Wing at Wormwood Scrubs extremely lax kind of security, and the inmates were allowed to cook their own meals. And I did sample something from Tony Lambriano, who was a very decent kind of guy. He just hold a conversation with him, and Leslie Grantham was going on because he was a ex-soldier, you know. He said, Boots DMS, he said, where were you, boss? I said, I was in Sennelager in Germany. I was in Germany. He was in Germany, you see. He was serving, I don't know, he was serving a long sentence for murder. He got in a taxi cab in Germany from his barracks and pulled a gun on the taxi driver and tried to rob him. And when the taxi driver fought back, Leslie Grantham, the gun had gone off and killed him. So that's why Leslie Grantham was in there. He went on to be Dirty Den. And he was Dirty Den in more than one ways, wasn't he, folks? Yeah. Because later on in his career, he was sacked from the EastEnders. I believe he was sending images of himself, you know, naked as nature intended. I mean, he was a trendsetter. They're all doing it now, I believe. What do they call them? Dick pics. I think we'll avoid that here, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, it's that time of day, folks. I'm not going to sing to you yet, but I will do in the end, and I'll warn you first of all.
Excuse me, sir. Random question.
I'll warn you with the song dinger. But first of all, I'm going to do you a poem, and I got a Dylan Thomas one I did before went well, and Larry the Goatman requested the start of Under Milkwood, which I did, which was originally read by Richard Burton. And this is a poem in October by Dylan Thomas, which he wrote to celebrate his 30th birthday. And at the time he wrote this, he was living in the boathouse at Larne, Laurghene, Larne, in Wales. You can visit it. You know, it's a little museum now to Dylan Thomas. And I've been in Brown's Hotel where he used to go drinking. I've had a pint of beer there. Drank a toast to Dylan Thomas. This is Poem in October. I'll read it like Dylan Thomas read it, should I? Should I give it... He hammed it up, you see. He used to give it that big licks, because he used to do tours of America where he read his poems. So here we are, Poem in October by Dylan Thomas. It was my 30th year to heaven, woke to hearing from harbour and neighbour wood, and the mussel pooled and the heron priested shore. The morning beckoned with water spraying, and call of seagull and rook, and the knock of sailing boats on the net-webbed wall. Myself to set foot that second in the still sleeping town, and set forth. My birthday began with the water birds, and the birds of the winged trees, flying my name above the farms, the white horses, and I rose in rainy autumn and walked abroad in a shower of all my days. High tide and the heron dived when I took the road over the border, and the gates of the town closed as the town awoke. A spring full of larks in a rolling cloud, and the roadside bushes brimming with whistling blackbirds, and the sun of October summery on the hill's shoulder. Here were fond climates, and sweet singers suddenly come in the morning, where I wandered and listened to the rain-ringing wind blow cold in the wood far away under me. Pale rain over the dwindling harbour, and over the sea, wet church the size of a snail, with its horns through the mist, and the castle brown as owls. But all the gardens of spring and summer were blooming in the tall tales, beyond the border and under the lark-full cloud. There I could marvel my birthday away. But the weather turned around. It turned away from the blithe country, and down the other air and the blue altered sky streamed again a wonder of summer, with apples and pears and red currants, and I saw in the turning so clearly a child's forgotten mornings, when he walked with his mother through the parables of sunlight and the legends of the green chapels, and the twice told infancy that his tears burned my cheeks and his heart moved in mine. These were the woods, the river, and the sea, where a boy in the listening summertime of the dead whispered the truth depth of his joy to the trees and the stones and the fish in the tide. And the mystery sang alive, still in the water and singing birds. And there I could marvel my birthday away, but the weather turned around, and the true joy of the long-dead child sang burning in the sun. It was my 30th year to heaven, stood there in the summer noon, through the town below lay leaved with October blood. Oh, may my heart's truth still be sung on this high hill in a year's turning. Poem for October by Dylan Thomas. And yes, folks, it's the moment you've all dreaded. The song dinger strikes fear into the hearts of brave men. This is a song originally sung by Elvis Presley, around about 1955, I think, 1956. I've actually got a copy of this on 78. It's the B-side to Blue Moon. Blue moon, I saw you standing alone. No, but this is I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine. I'm going to sing it like Elvis sang it, with a little bit of a hillbilly plink along. But there's no plinking, there's just the voice. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine, I get my lovin' in the evening time when I'm with my baby. Well, it ain't no fun with the sun around, I get going when the sun goes down and I'm with my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Who cares how many times we kiss, 'cause a time like this, who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine, I get my lovin' in the evening time when I meet my baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Who cares how many times we kiss, 'cause at times like this, who keeps score? Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine, I get my lovin' in the evening time when I meet my baby. And it don't matter if it's sleet or snow, the drive-in's cozy when the lights are low, and I'm with my baby. Makes no difference if the sun comes down, I don't notice when she's around. Oh boy, what a baby. Well, that's when we're gonna kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss, and we're gonna kiss some more. Well, one kiss from my baby doll makes me holler more, 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 more. Well, I don't care if the sun don't shine, I get my lovin' in the evening time when I meet my baby. If you like that, Monday morning, A1, I got the answer. Tales from the Jails, folks, with John G. Sutton.